Man, all right. So we live. So let me make sure we get the notifications before we start talking. So I'm waiting on the notification. All right, so we on YouTube. Cool. I just got the notification waiting on that LinkedIn. All right, cool. All right, so we linked in. Bam. All right, let's get it started, man. All right, let's start with the intros, and we're not gonna keep y'all too long tonight. So waiting on Corey to come through. CJ won't be here tonight, so yeah, that Larry June concert, man, that's gonna be a good one. So all right, so let's get started off. All right, my name is Brandon B. Dixon, MLS 1541210. I'm at Billionaire Loan Officer on all social media. Go ahead, please follow, like, subscribe, go on, so on and so forth. At Billionaire Loan Officer on YouTube as well. Go there. We got 2 new shows. Home tours Lux, and I have the actual Behind the Sauce. So go ahead, check those out. You're looking for the tours of the best Lux properties in the Houston area. So come check that out. You ready to apply? Go to my website, www.applywithb.com. If you're ready to apply and ready to get the mortgage going, right now we're in our busy season. So let's get it going quick before all the good houses are gone. I mean, that's kind of an oxymoron because they're always going to be building new stuff, but a lot of people going under contract and stuff is getting bought and sold every day, contrary to popular belief that it's all to a standstill. That's not true. Also, you can call me 832-775-8357. Call me 24/7. I am available. If you want to check my rates, go to whatstoday'srace.com. You go check my rates 24/7. Again, go ahead and put in a scenario. They'll give you a rate, and then, like I said, you're ready to get that rate. I'm ready to go ahead and get you signed up. Last couple of things. June 3rd, we got the collaboration of a competition. We got the Realtor Customer Appreciation Day at the Powder Keg 2 to 9 p.m. That's at the Powder Keg next to the Cannon right there on Brittmore Road. We're going to have free crawfish, man. Free crawfish. Got a fully stocked bar. We're going to have volleyball. We have a DJ, live music. We're going to have vendors there. It's going to be fun for the whole family this time. So come on, bring the kids out. We're going to have a Judge Dog Show. So my dog going to be in the house. This is it. The famous This Is It. Probably the best mini on the planet. So I'm already saying it right now. It's probably the best structured mini French Bulldog on the planet. I'm going to have her out there. So come on out. June the 3rd. Also, if you want to join the investment club, cocinvestmentclub.com. We're taking new members right now. We got a special on the yearly membership. Come on out. Also, last thing, I got the Wealth Wednesdays every second and fourth Wednesday now. So look for the second Wednesday in June and the fourth Wednesday in June. That's going to be at the Cannon. So you want to learn about private equity banking, learn how to file your 401k. You want to get paid to finance stuff. I'm going to show you how to do all that. Also, we're going to show you about side hustles, all that other stuff as well. So Wealth Wednesdays at the Cannon. Come check me out live in person for an hour, 7:30 to 8:30. Second and fourth Wednesday at the Cannon. So, Barry B, what's going on? So I got your banners updated. So let's go ahead.
All right.
So,
all right. This is Barry B, Realtor. You're looking to buy, invest, or sell in the Houston and surrounding areas. You can go to homesbybarryb.com. You can give me a call at 832-786-1270. Let's talk about your plans, what your goals are, and let's work on a plan to get you there. I'm also on all social media. If you go in Google Homes by Barry B, you'll get a hold of me. Email me, call me, text me, send me a message on IG. I'm on YouTube, IG, Facebook, LinkedIn, all of those.
Gotcha.
I don't even know if Snapchat's not even a thing anymore, is it? I've never heard
of it.
It's for
certain things that, so it's not really used for mainstream anymore. I mean, either the kids or certain.
I think IG took them over.
So they got all the stuff with the stories and stuff like that with IG and Facebook. Meta kind of bit their style, and then TikTok is kind of a new thing for the kids as well. So TikTok kind of like got all of the above. They got the stories, they got the
The videos.
They got everything in there.
You can do lives on them and all of that. Yeah.
So TikTok is kind of different animal. So, and it goes by the likes. So there's a couple of people that become millionaires over TikTok. You know, you can donate, and that's kind of what the Meta got as well from the giving to the badges and all that stuff. That's what Meta got that from TikTok, where you could donate to people live and, you know, give them roses or whatever. Yeah, so that's what badges, you can make some money off of TikTok nowadays, man. All right, so I want to get into this real quick, man. I'll have a real quick discussion. I've been on my motivational speaker stuff last couple of weeks, man. I'm, you know, the Power of Ownership podcast. What I'm doing now on it, since I only got a few minutes to do it, you know, especially during this busy season. I'm becoming like Friday nights. I know a lot of people will probably be busy on Friday night, but catch it during the replay. So what I'm doing is going over five or 6 points that come across my mind during the week, and I'm just ranting about that on, you know, some motivational stuff. So that's kind of what I've been doing on the Power of Ownership podcast. Then I've been chopping it up and putting it on short form on IG, you know, and TikTok and all that, you know, and Meta, you know, on the reels. So that stuff I've been kind of moving. I had a reel do 2 million views, not on my channel, but I went and got my haircut at that guy that had the biggest digital footprint in my area.
Mm-hmm.
And you can check it out. It got 2 million something views last time I checked, and it had like I don't know what's going on, man. You might as well be becoming a regular, man. You might as well get on the show, man.
Man, I
there he is.
Show up instead, so I'm gonna have to be on your team tonight, B Dix. Your right. was running behind schedule, so I'm gonna be on your team tonight.
Gotcha. Yeah, so what you call it,
be on your team.
Corey Save was gonna pop up. I talked to him about 2 hours ago. We had chopped it real fast. But now I was telling a real quick story about I damn near went viral. I looked on his page, like me and one other guy had like the most views. And how I found this guy that cut my hair is I Googled and I searched keywords, and he always would pop up. Then I went on the social and I kind of looked at, you know, how many followers he had on social and so on and so forth. So, and he charged the most that I've ever seen. Like, he charged me 70 bones just to do the beard right fast. So that's the most I've ever paid a haircut in my life. I usually, you know, my barber that I've been, you know, going with since I've been in the 8s, almost 20 years. He only 35, and then that's recent. He went from 10. I don't know if you remember the $5 days. Y'all remember them?
I remember.
Good old days.
Yeah, the $5 days. Then it went to 10. Then it went to 15. Remember when 15 was high? Like, ooh, y'all boy at 15?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, boy, 35, now 70. And he said he's trying to go to $200 haircuts.
I think Jalen Rose talked about that. I think a month back, saying if you ain't paying $100 for your haircut, then you need to find somewhere else to get it.
Right. So boy, he's trying to get to that $200 mark. He's trying to get up there. So, but he's doing it with that digital footprint. He got the most traction, the most engagement. I had like 3,000 something comments. I had 92 something thousand likes. That's the most I ever had. You know. And it was like a 30, 45 second skit. You know, I in fact, I might go ahead and play it on here. If I don't know if I have TikTok on there, but let me see if I could set that up. But while we're talking,
so what were the comments about?
Oh man, it was mainly poking fun at me and poking fun at the guy. It looks like he got a bunch of barbers that's critics.
Really? Are they criticizing his haircut, or they criticizing?
Yeah, they criticize you know, the haircut, the fact that he used enhancements on it. Enhancement. When what they do is they use. I don't know if you see that spray. They'll spray in and fill in where it's black. That's called enhancement.
That's a skill set, man. You got to know how to use that stuff.
Right. But you know, they trolling. That's what it is. It's trolling. You know. So, but you know. So they make, you know, calling me Rick Ross, calling me Mark Henry, you know what I mean? So, you know, stuff like that. So, but I think it was Barnum and Bailey or something like that said the only thing is considered bad coverage is no coverage. So as long as you spell my name right, it's coverage is coverage.
Yeah, if they put your ad in there, hey, somebody clicks on it and goes to your site.
Right. So that's the thing. Like
internet, yeah. It's about what they're talking about.
Right. So my thing is that's how I found them. Dude, the next appointment I was able to get is June 1st. That's how booked this dude is. You see what I'm saying?
That's pretty good. Especially if he's booked for not only beers but doing the enhancements, offering more services. That's pretty good.
Right. So, but I talked to him a little while, and I think I said this on the podcast before. I talked to him a little while. I said, "Well, how did you get your digital footprint?" You know, and it's very, very geo-tracked. You know, very specific to Katy.
I know. Yeah.
And he said he took a $6,000 course.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's what it is. You got to learn these skills. Like people just want to sit there and post stuff and then be random about it, and they don't have no direction. He's very, very, very pointed on exactly where you want to go, and he's doing it. You know, so I'm very impressed with this young guy. Actually, he's supposed to be at Welt Wednesday. My next Welt Wednesday, he already put the tickets up. So very impressed with this dude. You know, I think he's going. That's what it takes to be the next level, and that's the premise of today's show. Is like, what are some of the attributes that y'all think that you're going to need or need to acquire to become a top producer or become top 1%? Like, what's some of the skills that's non-negotiable?
Non-negotiable.
You need to have this in order to be a top producer, in order to be top 1% in your field.
That's a good one.
You know what I mean? So, well, Barry, you want to start it off?
Yeah, I can.
Right. What is it? What are some of the non-negotiables to become a top producer, man? What do you need? And then don't just name it. Go into it a little bit.
You know what? How about communication skills? You got to be able to communicate with people, whether clients or future clients or prospects or leads. You have to be able to communicate your message, what you can offer them, or you know what. I wouldn't say service or what your what I'm looking for, what you can do for them to help them get where they need to go. So I think communication that's a top skill. I mean, whether it's in person, on the phone, whether it's print, whether it's social media, you have to be able to communicate with people.
Mm-hmm.
Especially in this generation where people, we just talked about how they slide through the things so fast. You need to be able to communicate with them.
Right, that's important. Right. So let's do 2, and then move around. Let's talk about let's cross market, meaning cross examine them. You know what I mean? So you got communication. What else? Give me one more.
Being able to manage your business or manage your company or your field. Well, not field, but your company or your processes. Being able to manage them and not just blindly out there doing things.
So digging to manage a little bit.
Huh?
Digging to manage a little bit. What you mean by manage?
Well, manage like in my field, you have the communication part, the getting the leads part, but you also have the transaction part. Mm-hmm. You can get the deal, but if you can't do the paperwork right, you'll be messed over. You get that paperwork wrong, you can have some serious problems.
Ensuring a smooth transaction. Man, the process.
So I would think, So I mean, or you can say maybe that's leveraging yourself. You know, like I'm not as good with paperwork as most others, so I have to make sure that I get that.
Get it pro, man. You got to get that the dial up, man. Get that I got 820.
Come.
Yeah, you broke up. Say the
My
last
internet
part
went
again.
down. But yeah, you need you know, you got me now?
Yeah, I got you. We got you.
Okay. So yeah, so the paperwork, I mean the communication, you have to, I mean, so that's what I mean when I say manage. You got to get all those together, working together.
Gotcha. All right, man, what you got? So you got
Man.
communication management.
Go ahead, B.
We got communication. We got management so far.
He gave B gave the easiest one, though. You stole my thunder. You stole it, though. In order to maximize that top 1%,
those are what I'm working on.
I believe that your ability to build the right relationships. I can recall B Dix, you had went on a small rant maybe about 3 months ago of talking about working with the right people that you able to work with, that's meant for you to work with, right? Not just to randomly grab people out the blue sky, but you directly knowing who want to work with you and who can work with you and your personality. I think that's a skill set. I think that's a skill set that in our business, we don't develop it enough, nor are we taught to develop that ability to identify who best works with us, find them, work with them, and wash, rinse, and repeat. Number one, ability to identify the right relationships as far as clientele and business partners.
Gotcha.
Number two, the ability we have to learn how to make better decisions when it comes down to marketing and managing your finances. So I guess it will be relationship building and decision making. Relationship building and decision making. And decision making can cross so many boundaries. So I'm gonna try not to go over Barry's boundaries, but the ability to decide when should like you gave the example about the young man who paid the $6,000 for the marketing campaign for Facebook and all the other stuff. What made him say, I'm gonna make this decision to pay this $6,000? Where did he learn that ability to make that decision and be definitive about doing it, and then following through and deciding, okay, I'm going to apply the stuff I learned.
Right.
It was
a course that he took, a $600 course to learn.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that as part of making the decision to pay for that education, to make the decision to apply the education. Because there's many people who read books, take classes, but still don't decide to apply the information that they've been taught or read about.
Yeah.
Mine would be my number one. This is the easiest, and probably it's work ethic. Work ethic. Period. I mean, most people, especially nowadays, want something for nothing. They want to cut corners. They want the shortest length between 2 points is a straight line, but that's not how this goes in business a lot of times. So work ethic, the ability or the willingness to go to do whatever it takes. The gotta wanna, the grit, the determination. You know what I'm saying? That is number one. That separates everybody. That separates the men from the boys, the women from the girls, the middle of the pack or the bottom feeders from the top 1% is the gotta wanna. They gotta want to be the best.
Is that a skill? Because you brought to the table saying, what are some skills that you need to have?
Nowadays? That is a skill nowadays. Attribute.
Yeah, is that a skill?
How do you develop that skill? How do you develop that skill?
You develop the skill by constantly feeding yourself mental food, good mental food, whether it be motivation, whether it be studying your craft constantly, whether it be constantly mentally. Don't forget, food is just not physical. What you eat is what you take in, what you visually take in. And when you obsess over this goal, you sharpen your skill of work ethic and desire, and now you crave nothing but, hey, I got my goals, my vision boards, stuff like that. So yeah, it's a skill that you can sharpen.
I think I like the idea of having the grit and the grind in order to be a part of that 1%. For 100%, you gotta have that, right? You gotta have that. My only issue is that if a person doesn't read, then they can't get the information through motivation. If a person gets online and wants to watch the YouTube videos, what's keeping them on the motivational videos versus the big booty videos? You know what I'm saying? Because their lack of focus may not just be there because, like you just said, it's just they just all over the place.
Right.
That's only my thing about the fact of saying that the grind and the ability to work hard and the work ethic is a skill set.
Right. Well, the guy.
I do think you need to develop it though. So that's where I'm kind of torn at. How do you develop the work ethic?
Well,
Because for me, I got teen kids. So how do I make them develop that?
Well, this is the thing. You gotta frame it. When I originally lost, my weight goes up and down. But when I got in the best shape of my life, when I was down to in my 30s, I was down to like 210, 212, 6% body fat. How I framed it and what motivated me was because I was into entertainment business at the time. And I wanted that more than I could breathe.
Right.
And I did, and I wanted it more than, wanted to be successful at it more than I wanted anything else.
True.
So
I agree. That's good stuff right there. That's good stuff.
That's all I could. That's what I obsessed over. I woke up and I watched workout. But while I would work out, then I would watch workout videos to try to sharpen my skills on how to get bigger as far as bodybuilding. I would work out and watch. I would watch YouTube videos on diet. Stuff like that. I would constantly take in. That's all I was obsessed over. That consumed my life. And I did it. I lost, 200 something pounds. I was in the best shape of my life. I did it because that's all that's all I can see is get rich or die trying. It's do or die. It's all the cliches that we use, but we don't really put that into action. How do you put that? Yeah. How do you make that a skill? How do you make that part of your life? You got to make it to where you want to do this or bust.
Yeah, man. I think. And like I said, I agree 100% in all the cliches. I know that method works. I know there's 100% truth in it, 100% truth. But if we could figure out a way to get people to see that truth and apply that truth, we'll be millionaires right now. We'll be millionaires right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, everybody.
I think the application is the thing because they got millions of videos that you can watch to do this and make money doing that and do this, but it's you got to have that application.
The application comes from. Don't forget that matter follows mind. Once you make up the mind, then the matter can follow. But if your mind not made up, you're not going to do anything.
The
food that you could watch the YouTube videos, all that does is fuel the fire. That's not going to put the fire there. The fire already have to be in your belly.
Mm-hmm.
So what is that starter to make that fire come on?
You're right.
And then you got to constantly feed that fire from whatever angle. So my fire was I never really told this. I'm gonna give an abridged version. I've never really said this public. I'm gonna give an abridged version. I'm gonna leave out some details. Just for I don't want everybody. They got to sign an NDA to get really hear my story. I wait for the movie when I get to a certain level. Wait for the biopic. But,
most definitely.
But real stuff. My cousin and I, we had a pilot on the table for a big network, and we flew cross country to go ahead and pitch this pilot. So it's gonna be a reality show starring me and my cousin and stuff like that. So we got there, and the first thing the exec said was, "Man, y'all need to lose some weight. Get down at least 50 pounds and call me back." It was about. I came there to maybe talk 30. I thought it was gonna be 30, 45-minute meeting. It was all of 5 minutes. Flew cross country. Oh man, y'all gotta lose some weight. Boom. Get the hell out of here. Call me when you lose 50 pounds each. Boom.
Damn.
So that was the fire starter. So no matter how I got the numbers, my numbers was there. I got the person there. I got everything else, but it's so superficial as the weight. So it clicked something, it clicked something on. It started the fire on.
Yeah.
But you got to have that why. You got to have that fire, and you got to
Right.
figure out what's your fire to do this. So if you just arbitrarily doing this thing, all right, let me see how it works. You'll never get there.
Yeah.
You never,
Yeah.
you know, because I've done diets before, and you know, even now it's hard because I don't have that same fire. I'm not trying to get into the entertainment business. You know, so that fire had to click on. Once that fire is on, you know, it's hard to get off if this is what you want.
Well,
You know,
I agree with you on that. I agree with you on that. Once you start with the why and you know what your why is, yeah, all you doing is just adding good dry wood to it and watch that thing blaze.
Right.
Good dry wood and watch it blaze.
Right. So that's all it took. Like I said, that I was on the focus at that point. You know, and whatever it took, whatever it needed to do, whatever I needed to do, used to run at Memorial Park at 12 o'clock at night. Then go work out with a Sam, you know, with these garbage bags on before they were sauna suits, you know.
Classic.
Yeah, so
Classic.
rock with the garbage bag at the end of the, you know, watch everything pour out, then go hit the gym. You know, so I did it. You know, didn't take that long either. It took me, you know, but 30 is a different metabolism, man.
It's a different effort.
Yeah, I hit that thing and shit like 9 months. I was down. You know what I mean? But yeah, I try that nowadays, man. I damn near need a stick of dynamite to get this stuff off, man. It's different time, different story. But my second thing would be, besides the determination, the grit, and the gotta wanna, I would say the skill that you need is a system. You know,
Yes.
A system?
A system is the solution.
A system is a skill.
A system is a skill.
Damn, bro. How do
Yeah,
we get to a system as a skill?
Right. So let's
Yeah,
break
you
it down.
got to explain that one because I'm not on a system.
Right. A system is a skill. The way you compartmentalize stuff, the way you organize stuff in your head, the way you make you know, your formula for success, and sticking to it is a skill.
Oh, B, that's not the same thing as a system, B.
That is a skill. That is what. So
What-
all right. So you got a system. Everything is many systems.
Okay.
So when you get up
Go
in
ahead.
the morning, you got a system. You might say a prayer. You might write down your goals. You know what I'm saying? You might go, you know what I'm saying? Then I check my email or whatever you do. You know, shave, you know, shower, whatever you do. That's a system. And you figure out what is the best system for to reach your goal. How can I get, you know, how can I get up and get to wherever I need to go to as quick as possible? Whatever your goal is. That is the system. And then you take these mini systems, you make it one larger system. You see what I'm saying? So I'm really spinning organization. It's really, if you want to, organization is the thing, but I like to break it down as a system. That way you could really visualize it.
I thought that would create good habits.
Is the system a skill set, or is how you work that system the skill set?
I think as long as you have a system and you stick to it, if it really works, it's going to work regardless.
But I mean, we were talking about a skill set that you need, though. You saying a skill set you need
to get to the 1%. Don't forget to get to the 1%. That's what we're trying to do.
You got to have a system in place.
When you say system, like I said, it threw me off. I'm thinking of a system of follow up, a system of lead generation, a system that's where my mind went. I'm like, okay,
yeah, you're talking about as actually with the customer system, and I'm talking about a system to get you to on a daily.
You mean a personal system?
A personal system.
Okay. Not as far as your business is concerned.
Nah. I mean, you need a system.
Okay. So we talking
as far as that as well, but you need a system to where I'm disciplined. That's how I was able to lose the weight. Every day I did this. I did X,
but isn't that the same as what you just said with the work ethic? Well,
you got the work ethic is what you need. You got to have. That's the gotta wanna. But the system is actually the act itself. All right. How do I organize this gotta wanna? How do the actual work ethic is the energy. The system is the practice. You know, the actual the actual application itself.
All right.
Okay.
Y'all follow me?
Yeah. Because I was thinking when you said skill set, I'm thinking or system. I'm thinking you're talking about as far as the business, and
Yeah, that's what I went to.
You're
I went to
doing-
the same place as you, Bear.
you do A, B, C. That is your system,
Right.
and working through A and then working through B. You
Right.
need skill sets to work in that system,
Right.
Yeah.
or
But
you can
follow
leverage
me
it
though.
with someone else,
You
or you
need
can
a
leverage it.
system in order to. A system is a skill in order to get the big systems.
Mm.
Where you can work
Right.
it that you implement on as far as the job.
Right.
Think about it. If I can't get up on time, and I can't get up until 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I need to switch my system. I need a system in place to where I can enable me to get up at 5:30.
But
Yeah.
is that a skill set though?
That is a
Nah,
skill set because I'm able to map this out and plan ahead. And then
I think the thing about that is that's you're kind of dabbling in so many different areas, and it's like kind of hard to pinpoint it. That's all.
well, nah, y'all not. That's what I'm trying. That's why I'm breaking it down. Y'all not following. So, all right, I'll give you an example. For a while, before I even got in shape, this was. I'm taking it back to the 20s now. This is before I made, when I was mediocre. Before the light came on, I couldn't wake up before like 11 o'clock, unless I had to.
Damn.
I could, no matter what, I just couldn't. 11 o'clock was it. So, as an entrepreneur, half the day is gone.
Yeah.
So how I developed a system in place to force me to wake up at 5:30. And this is what I did. I kind of learned this from I won't go into it where I learned this because I might need to put this in a book later on. Hey, I taught you that. You know what I'm saying? But this is what I learned this from old school salesman back in the day. He said, I put my watch, I put my phone, and I got like 2 alarm clocks. One battery power, one electric power. My phone was linked to my speakers, and I have the same music every morning. Boom. That come in at 5:29. I know I'm gonna shut that off. Then boom, 5:30, another alarm going off. Boom. 5:31, another alarm going off. Boom. So by that 4th alarm, I'm up because it broke the frequency. I know I was gonna shut down the first 2. I already have like 3 or 4 already backed up. So every morning I'm up at 5:30, no matter what. Then I implemented the system to where, all right, I stopped eating anything or stop eating high carbs and stop drinking caffeine past 2 o'clock.
That's a good one. That's a real good one right there. That still works today.
Yeah, it still works today. So, because when you eat carbs like late at night, man, you wired. You know what I mean? You eat some pasta, some rice late at night. Good luck. You know what I mean? So that's another thing I am. So that game plan, and automatically I start getting drowsy 9 o'clock. So I go to sleep earlier. So just putting those things, that system in place to where, all right, this is part of my system. I know I'm gonna wake up. I know I'm gonna stop eating carbs. You know what I mean? And it worked for me. And now I wake up still this day 5:30, like clockwork. I don't need an alarm no more.
That's some good stuff right there.
Okay.
But you got to
That's some
train.
good stuff right
I used to call it guerrilla. I used to call it guerrilla mindset. I used to guerrilla myself. That's what I used to call it, So you force yourself to do what you wanted to do. And then from there, that enabled me to get in better shape, enabled me to be more productive. I started the business and it took off. My late 20s was a whole nother ball game. You see? Because I put that system in place. That one system took me from mediocre. I mean, that's not the only thing, but it helped me to go from mediocre to top 1%.
That's good. That's real good, man.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
So, I mean, that's facts. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I mean by system. You got to have a system in place or a ritual or what's the better word besides system? I think system is the perfect word.
routine.
I think
routine.
I like routine. I think routine or a good habits applies more in that situation about getting yourself prepared for your day.
Right.
It comes across a little bit like, okay, yeah, you need a good habit. You need to create good routines to start your day. You need to, like when you say your fuel, you need to have fuel. You need to fuel. You need a spark to fuel whatever. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm trying. I can't say it how you said it be. But if you don't have nothing inside you to keep fire going, you got to have that first, and I guess that's what you call the desire, right? And so you had a desire to lose weight because of what happened when you went cross country to pitch, and they told you need to lose 50. Right. Okay, I need to lose 50 so I can accomplish my goal. Right. So now I got it. All I'm gonna do is throw fire on I guess your wood was getting up at 5, exercising, doing the Memorial Park thing, which is good. I mean, I get that 100%. Right. Now, how can we apply that to making that a quote unquote skill to be a part of the 1%? Yes, that can be right. Mm-hmm. Your desire to be a part of the 1%, I guess, would be the desire, the want to, right? If I want to be a part of the 1%, I got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. I got to get up early. I got to get up before everybody else and get started so I can be a part of the 1%. Yeah, I guess that's
I think it's a skill because most people don't even have that. They want to get to. They want to get to the goal. They want to live like they want the fruit of the 1%. They want the luxury living. They want the attributes, and then but they don't even have the desire to put in the work. And I said this on the podcast. We glorify the shine. We don't glorify the grind. I was enamored with the grind. I love the grind. I love the sweat. I love to pour I made myself love what I hated. I used to hate the run. I started to love. I started loving the run. I used to love to see how much sweat I could pour out. To see how much I could lift. To see how long I could go on this cardio machine. You got to love you got to
love the process. Yes, you do have to love the process. Mm-hmm. So 100%. If you don't love the process, you won't be able to, in all honesty, achieve any goal. That we don't have to say the goal of being a part of the 1%. Right. If you don't love the process of being a better father, being a better wife, being a better son, being a better daughter, if you don't love that process, then you won't be able to get there because you're gonna be like, it's work, right? And we all know it's work, but you gotta want to do the work to get to goal.
Right, exactly, and that's the thing. That's what separates. That's why a lot of people, especially nowadays, are not hitting their goals because they love with the luxury of it. They love with the fruits of it, but you'll never get there if you don't love the process. And you don't put you don't have the desire. First of all, it blows my mind. They want to ride in these expensive cars. You want to do all of this stuff, but when I press them, all right, what's your goals? I just want to be comfortable. How's that gonna happen? This is top 1%. These top 1% drive these G wagons. How you just want to be comfortable, which is down here, and do and get the same fruit? Don't make sense.
I think we discussed this last time about comfort level.
Maybe that's not what they want.
Right. But that's the whole thing. That's what I'm saying. It's a skill to have the gotta wanna. You gotta have the desire to be top 1% to even achieve it.
Okay. And you know what? I was just thinking. Okay, so you were talking about how that was a skill set and waking up at this and set 4 alarms. But my thing is this with making that a skill. Okay, I'm up at 5:30. Now what do I do? Just being up at 5, because just being up at 5:30 doesn't mean anything. Well, I've asked top producers, because I've asked partners, just this one quick, right quick. I've asked top producers, well, what do you do? They won't tell you.
Yeah, I can tell you, but
they tell you, oh yeah, I get up and grind. Well, what's grinding? What do you do when you get up at 5:30 in the morning? What do you do when you stay up till 9 o'clock? What are you physically doing? And I think that's the skill. That's what I was thinking when you were talking about was the skill. I mean, I can be up at 4 o'clock in the morning all day long, every day. But what are you doing when you're up there? You know?
I think if you could get up, that's half the battle. If you could if you could mentally commit to beating the sun up, to getting your butt out of bed, that's half the battle. But you got to mentally commit. And I think once you do that, you naturally productive at that point. You want to be productive for the most part. Now, some people, there's exceptions to all rules, but then once you up, you want to do something because your body is craving stimulation. But what happens is we get that false stimulation, that dopamine from scrolling through Instagram, or we'll sit there and watch something. But you gotta alchemize that and say, look, let me get this dopamine by accomplishing something. Let me go ahead and walk this mile. Let me go ahead and get in this gym. That way I have a sense of accomplishment as my dopamine fix. So
So I thought that was a solid question, Bear, when you asked the 1%, because I've done that before and they've never really been able to give an answer.
But
I'll
break it down to you. I'll break it down to you. I was gonna say that I was gonna get an answer first, but
go and get an answer then, Bear. B Dix, give it to us, and everybody gonna take turns and roll with it.
Right.
Go ahead,
so
B Dix.
My ritual every morning, again, I don't even need an alarm. I'm 5:27, 5:28 every morning, like clockwork. So what I like to do first of all, I'm gonna go ahead and use the facilities and then meditate for at least 15 to 20 minutes. And what I mean by meditate, don't forget, I'm about to hit y'all with some heavy stuff. Don't forget that spirit. If you look at the etymology of spirit, it means breath and nothing else. So when you talk about spirituality, it means breath ritual. So practicing spirituality is practicing your breath ritual. So you when you breathe in and you put that oxygen in the blood flow, it alkalines your blood, and you're able to do a lot of things. But then you want to ground yourself, meaning you want to hit the go outside. I like to let my dog out and put your feet on the ground. And helps you coagulate your blood and all that stuff. Then I like to hit that treadmill, walk for 30 minutes, like listen to my music. I forgot one thing. After I meditate, then I write my goals down. And then I check off the goals that I did yesterday. Boom, boom, boom. Write my goals down for the day. Then I, feed my dog, blah, blah, blah. Hit the ground with the barefoot. Then I walk for that 30 minutes. By then it's about 7:30. I need to get back to, I used to 7:30 hit that gym, hit that iron for a little while. But I've been slapping on that. I've been hit right to this laptop, boom, and doing something. But I need to get back to that gym from 7:30 to 8:30, 9 o'clock. Then by 8:30, 9 o'clock, then after I shower up and everything from that gym, the calls start hitting me. Boom, everybody in the mama calling, blah, 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 blah. So it's calling, working loans, and doing what I need to do until about this time. You know what I mean? That's why I'm so big too, because I'm like, all right, damn, it's 6 o'clock. Let me grab something to eat. So it'd be nonstop. So that's my day. I'm calling 100 calls a day, working these loans. Working, emailing, working loans, doing all this stuff, consultations all day, every day. Until the afternoon. Then I might do the podcast. But that meditation in the morning, that touching your feet, touching the earth, I got to do that. I got to. It's in my mind already. It helps your body. That's why I say, without that system in place, I won't be as productive. Because what happens is if it's raining out, like a Sunday is gloomy, and I'm not getting out of bed, boom, check me at 12. Days, either that day gone. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I got to do that in order to put me in that mode. Am I making sense?
Oh yeah.
So that's me. That's my day. That's a couple of things I got to do, man. I got to write down my goals. I got to meditate. I got to put my foot on the ground, my naked feet on the ground, on the earth, not no concrete.
What kind of mode you talking about, B? You talking about a productive mode?
Well, the premise of the show, man, we talking about what are some of the skills and the attributes that you need to be top 1% or top producer. Maximize your life.
Top of the line.
Top of the line. So we got to my Let me just recap. Barry said communication, and you got to manage your business. Hyman said build relationships, and then you got to make better decisions. Mine was you got to have the grit, determination, and then you got to have the systems in place, and that's where we were. I mean, systems, not really like follow-up calls and all that, but I mean systems as far as personal systems to get you going and get you to where you need to be. So and the little minis personal systems could fit into the bigger systems. I give you an example, like Thursdays, I do my recruiting. Friday, I do all my follow-ups. You feel what I'm saying? So I got other systems in business that's inside of that business. I send my mass emails and I do all my follow-up calls on Friday. And then I call all my realtors Friday. Hey, don't forget I'm working all weekend, blah, blah, blah. So that's, I kind of break it down day-wise. So I need the small systems to equal the big, to help me do the big systems.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
But everything's a system. Everything is me. I look at everything like mathematics.
Right.
I majored in computer science. So if I do this, then this gonna happen. If I do this, then this gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
So I open the floor to you. Which give me two attributes, and then we're gonna go ahead and just discuss everything real quick.
Man, I think the biggest ones have already been hit upon. The one for me is systems, and then the second thing for me is discipline to follow the systems.
Right.
You can have 100 different systems that's been effective for, the top 100 producers, you know what I'm saying, in the country, in the world, or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, if you ain't followed through and you're not executing on a daily basis those systems, then they're no good to you.
Right.
And you're going to see no results.
Right.
So at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying, I think those are the biggest two, but the system has already been hit upon. And then the second one is just the discipline to execute.
Right. That's kind of echoing the first thing I'm talking about, the gotta wanna, because I think if you got the gotta wanna, that spark, that fire in your belly, you're gonna discipline yourself. It's gonna work itself out. But you gotta have that gotta wanna. You don't have that gotta wanna, and it gotta be serious. It gotta be like, this or die.
Yeah.
Type thing in order to get, because what happens is when adversity hit, if you ain't serious, adversity gonna sit your ass down. And you're gonna tell you go somewhere, and you're gonna go do it. You know what I'm saying? So, but if you got that grit, when adversity hit, you go boom. You're gonna eat that. Boom. I ate that. Boom. Ate that. You see what I'm saying?
I think for a lot of people, they need that adversity pushing them in the back like the wind. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because as the cliche say, what gets in the way of a great life is a good life. If you cool, you eating good, your bills paid and everything, you know what I'm saying? You don't really have the same motivation as somebody that got to go get it. Somebody got to make sure they go get that money to get that next bill paid.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It takes toughness, mental toughness, you know what I'm saying, to still have all the bills paid. You're not struggling, but still have that same intensity and tenacity to go out there and do what you need to do, you know what I'm saying, to take it to the next level.
I agree, but I disagree. Now here goes the controversy.
Okay.
I talked about this on the podcast explain Matt Ishbia, explain LeBron James, explain all these greats that have all these accolades, but they keep going. They keep going. Their bills paid already. They bills paid. Their kids bill paid.
Yeah, but the cliche is not a one size fits all. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why they're in the top 1%, not the top 50%. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Because
that is not a common practice for somebody to come from a well-off family or a middle-class family or whatever the case may be, you know what I'm saying, and have that grit and tenacity to get to these cats level. Not saying that it can't be done. It's just saying that, you know what I'm saying, there's a small percentage of people that actually have it to get to that point.
Right. But that's the thing. I guess you need small, different types of adversity, but everybody doesn't have to everybody doesn't have to go through trials and tribulations. Some people just want to be great. Some people they want to, is you versus you. They want to outdo themselves. They want to maximize their potential.
Oh, for
But look
sure.
at Matt Ishbia.
But I would say that they do have adversity. They may not have the adversity that maybe you're thinking.
Right.
But I think all of them have. I mean, look at Michael Jordan.
Right.
He got cut from his high school team. That was adversity.
Right.
Yes.
You know, we don't say nothing about that. You know, he done won all these championships and everything, but I think everybody has had some adversity.
Right.
It might not be at the level that everybody else has had.
Right.
But they've had something happen that either drove them or could have pushed them down. I mean, look at all the. I mean, if you want to, talk about basketball players or whatever, look at all the maybe the athletes that would have been great if something would have happened, wouldn't have happened. 20 years ago, they had an adversity and it didn't drive them and it brought them down. Now you never heard of them.
Right.
You talk about, you know what I'm saying, I watched the Olympics documentary not too long ago. And all the guys could ever talk about was Kobe. Kobe's different. His mentality is different. We getting ready to go to the club. Kobe talking about, you know what I'm saying, I'm going to the gym to get it in.
Right.
Out of everybody that was on the Olympic squad, maybe 15, 16 cats that was on the Olympic squad.
Right.
It was only one guy that had that determination. Now, everybody else eventually kind of shifted a little bit. But when I talk about, you know what I'm saying, people having that just it's in them. Like, you know what I'm saying, it's just in them to go get it. Right. It's a very small percentage that actually has that.
Right. Right. I'm saying that, I agree. Again, I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you.
Mm-hmm.
What I'm saying is that when we think of adversity, especially coming from our community, we think of trials and tribulations. We think it's something bad got to happen, and that's not necessarily the case. Other people's trials could be anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be something bad. But we automatically think it's got to be something negative that happened in order for us to propel us to greatness, and that's not necessarily the case. Look at Matt Ishbia. Matt Ishbia, who's the CEO of UWM that's brought the Phoenix Suns. What makes him? Why is he top of his field? Maybe he's just a competitive by nature. He always wanted to beat Rocket. He always wanted to beat. He's just a competitor.
He played basketball.
He played basketball. But he's a competitor. You think? But he didn't come from where we came from. He came from, I don't want to say rich, but he came from a decent family, decent middle class family.
I go back to what Barry said. You know what I'm saying, we don't know what the cat adversity was.
Right. I don't know his story.
So like it could have been he's one of 3 other brothers. You know what I'm saying? They handed him to him, and brothers talking about, you know what I'm saying, you about to fall to the business. You gonna make it fail or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So now he has that grind and grit because he has that competitive nature to prove him wrong. Like, we don't know what his adversity was.
Right.
But in most cases, and not all cases again, but you know what I'm saying, in most cases, there has to be some kind of negative event or some kind of negative action there for people to have that grit and grind to go.
I want to spin that to a positive. I don't want people to think that you gotta go through something in order to be great. I think you need to put it in your mind that you want to be great and want to compete and want to be at the top of your field, and you could be great. You don't have to lose a loved one. You don't have to lose an arm to be great.
Nah, you don't.
That's true. Yeah.
Nah, you don't.
So you could put up in your mind and, hey, I want, just telling the youth, like, hey, you don't have to go through something. You don't have to be picked on. You don't have to be bullied in order to be at the top of your game. You just got to put it in your mind that that's where I want to be. First, you got to put the systems in place. Let's recap. You gotta build relationships. You got to make better decisions. You got to communicate. You got to manage yourself and your business. All of these things you got to do in order to get to that top 1%. So it's all of the above. So I agree with you. Yes, a lot of times, more times than I would like. Yes, that tragedy, adversity, negative overtones may propel somebody to be great. The propels you want to be different. You want different for yourself. That's why a lot of people from where I'm from are successful in New Orleans. If you look at Master P, you look at Tyler Perry, you look at Birdman, you look at it because the system is, the city is so has such a negative overtone on it. If you're from there, you can either become it or you can escape from it. Mm-hmm. So just my environment alone, like, man, I can't do this. So that's a motivational factor. You see what I'm saying? So, but everybody, you know, you could be from Topeka, Kansas, you could be from anywhere. But if you put that in your mind that I want to be the best at what I do. I don't want it to be even close, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes to get that. I think that's the first step of getting there. Just like they say, well, alcoholics, the first step is to admit you're an alcoholic. Alcoholics Anonymous. You know, so you gotta, you know, once you put it out loud, like I want to be the top 1%, then that's the first step. I'm gonna say one other thing. You know, I don't want to dominate the conversation. I was watching Drink Champs the other day, and they had, you know, some one of my favorite, well, probably my favorite MC all time besides Jay-Z is Ghostface Killah. They had Ghostface and Raekwon on there, and Noriega, he's the host. He was talking about Old Dirty Bastard, man, ODB. He described it so beautiful. ODB's spirit. I never looked at it from that angle. And Raekwon told a story like, man, hey, ODB knew what we was gonna be before we knew what we was gonna be. He always come in the room when we was in the projects and say, man, we the illest MCs in the world. And he said it so much that we started to believe it.
The power of affirmations, man.
And so that looked, you know, that changed my mind. Like ODB was really like the spirit of the group. Like he put it on their mind like they were great, and they fielded accordingly, and they the biggest group since the Beatles.
Yeah,
really couldn't get down with Wu-Tang like that.
Huh?
I really couldn't get down with Wu-Tang like that.
Oh,
I wasn't a big Wu-Tang fan. I love them now, but
we're from the South.
Yeah,
the South, so that's just what it is.
Like, now you gonna make me get on my bags, man. You gonna make me.
Yeah, I wasn't that big Wu-Tang fan.
I wasn't a big
forever, man. This is the difference. A lot of people don't, you know, I'm scientific. You're listening wrong.
You're listening wrong.
You're listening wrong.
That's that old school.
This is the difference. West Coast music, down South music sound good in the car. As for riding, we have these highways and shit. It's designed to sound good in the car and in the club. East Coast music is designed to sound good in the park, in the rec room. That's where they come from. It's rec room music. It has a different feel.
That's the environment, though, man.
Right. So it's not gonna sound good in the car. It doesn't sound good in the club.
Nah, it doesn't.
I could be in the bowling alley. I wasn't trying to hit no Wu-Tang.
Right. But it's different.
Right.
I'm not selling you on Wu-Tang. What I'm saying is for acquired taste. But you got.
And the next thing with Wu and I'm not even just gonna say Wu. I'm gonna say with any East Coast artist, their wordplay is so unique to where they are. If you're not from one of the 5 boroughs, you have no idea what the hell they're talking about.
Nah, you do. I'm from New Orleans. I know a lot of what they had was so dope because they had a lot of teachers of 5% in there. Most of every other word, every other line was 5% teachings. Mm-hmm. So that's why I followed them so hard. Like if you was on 5%, you probably don't know what they're talking about.
Well, nobody from the South was on 5%. There wasn't too many 5%ers here.
There's a lot of 5%ers.
Now,
no,
because of where they migrated from, but at that time,
right,
the 5%ers was big on the East Coast,
right, Atlanta, everywhere really. New Wapians, all that stuff. It was big everywhere. But if you ain't on the lessons, it was hard to follow. And then right. they wasn't really straight up. There was slang. There was 5% teachers, and then there was a lot of allegorical stuff.
Right. So even in that slang, if their slang is different from ours, it's a different dialect that you don't get. Okay, right. We already know we wasn't on the 5% here. Right. Now, when you talk about the algorithms, if they're talking about if they're talking about 125th and Lennox as the 125 lock, we don't know that they talk about 125th Lennox in Harlem. I know that now because I'm older and I just know more.
Mhm.
But when I'm 17, 18, shit, I've never left Houston yet.
Right. But
How am I supposed to know that he's talking about the heart of Harlem? Or when they talk about Jamaica Queens, it's a different name than they call it Jamaica Queens. They call it something else. Shit, how are we supposed to know that?
Well, no, that was what was so dope to me because it was decoding all that stuff.
Oh goodness gracious! Man.
Decoding.
Yeah, I love decoding. I'm a lyric. I'm a research guy. I'm a lyrics guy. That's I attribute Wu-Tang and music and stuff like that. They gave me that inquisitive nature so when I got scriptures and books, I love to decode. I love to go underneath the surface and see what that means and all that stuff. So I was intrigued. But I used to say this all the time. I know we talking about music. I look at it as more than music. It's poetry that they, it's stories that they telling, So it was more than music to me. I know y'all like the music, but it was like it was the real Wu-Tang fans. They know what I'm talking about, and I'm not.
I'm pretty sure the true Wu know what he's talking about.
Yeah,
I can tell you like this. I'm a big Biggie fan, right? And
Right.
so I was watching the documentary of Biggie that Angie Martinez did. Remember that song "Somebody Gots to Die"? And on the line where he comes at who's at my door is see who's slinging from the 6th floor on the 16th floor. You remember that line?
Right.
Right. So supposedly that line is represented in another song that Puff Daddy did. It said, "See what line about somebody trying to rob and kill Big" on another track.
Mhm.
I just learned that 3 days ago,
Mhm.
and I was listening to Biggie back in '97 and '96.
Right. That's the beauty of it.
But that's the thing. I do not understand how can we quote these folks from a different set or a different city or different thing and think we know exactly what they mean based on their metaphors and their wordplay about where they're from.
That did I have to be from Hamlet's era to appreciate Hamlet, to appreciate Shakespeare, to appreciate any of these other Voltaire, any of these great poets from those days?
Here's the thing, you had to learn, right? Until you have the mentality and the mental capacity to learn it, then yes.
Yeah,
but as a 16-year-old to 18-year-old, no, you got to get something with the hook and the beat.
Not necessarily. There was us nerds that was in the Wu-Tang.
No, I don't disagree with that.
Yeah, there was. I say it's a nerd thing, but
well, let me ask you this: in the United States, where would you say the majority of Wu-Tang fans? Where do they stay?
In the U.S.
What side of the country?
Probably East Coast.
Yeah,
East Coast and West Coast.
Oh, I don't know about the West.
Don't forget
they like them. That's different. I ain't talking about just. I'm talking about serious Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
like I know some serious Wu-Tang fans here in Houston, but they from Philly. They from Baltimore. They from that East Coast. That's where they from.
But don't forget that LA, first of all, is a hodgepodge of everybody. And LA has a huge underground hip hop scene.
Oh, yeah, I know, the West Coast, yeah. I love the West Coast.
So East and West Coast, I would say even the Bay Area and all that stuff, they love Wu. Don't forget the Wu lived on the West Coast for the majority of the time. When the Wu mansion was on the West Coast.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean,
so they migrated from the East Coast, but still talking about stuff on the East, back in the Bronx and Jersey and all that.
Well, on the very first, all of it, they have bits and pieces. But once they started to get rich, they start talking about rich shit.
That's normal.
It changed up a little bit.
That's normal.
But for that first wave of albums, it was East Coast to the core. But it filled with 5% lessons. I mean, filled with kung fu flicks and all the stuff we grew up with. So that's why it was so dope. Like, it was like lyrically. That was the other layer of what I was saying. That's why with that kung fu was like when we watched kung fu stuff in the early 80s and the late 70s, it was like you sparring. The way they was rhyming was like you sparring. So and that what was so dope about it. And they had that underlying kung fu stuff. Everybody had different styles, and it was almost like Transformers. Mm-hmm. Everybody had their different personality. Everybody had their different guns and stuff like that. Yeah, it was like
you had the monkey style for kung fu. You had the crane. You had the snake.
Think about
Don't
Was it a hummingbird style?
Deadly Venom, the 5 Deadly Venoms. Best.
There you go.
That's Kung Fu movie right there.
Yeah, the 5 Deadly Venoms. I know who made a song about that.
Right. Well, what I mean by Transformers is think about it. You got all these different robots with different special powers, and they all come together. They got all different personalities. And they all came together.
Now that's one thing I like about Wu-Tang is they got their different styles and they bring them together like that.
Yes, will.
Right. So that's what was so dope about it. And it's almost like Transformers. When you get one, you gonna want them all. Like, oh shit, man. Oh, they're the Bastard album. I gotta get that. Oh shit, the Jizzle album. I gotta get that. Mm. So that was the loyal, the kid in us. So that was perfect marketing, man. That was great marketing because it ain't never been done before on the business side.
Yeah.
Well, you know what I mean? So back to what I was saying, man. It's
we done jumped off in the Wu-Tang.
Yeah, y'all listening wrong, man. We listening wrong. This is rec room music, man. This is in the park stuff. This is in the basement, man.
Yeah, I wasn't in the rec room. We ain't got basements down here.
Yeah,
it was too hot to be sitting in the park.
Right. Yeah, thank you.
I know we slabbed and you know what I mean,
McGregor Park back in the day.
And sound good with all the highs and you know what I mean. And this is grimy. This is it's kind of offbeat. You know what I mean?
When I was growing up, I loved bass line, so you had to get me into it.
Yeah, it's kind of offbeat. It's like it's the case. I was watching a video. They were talking about the low end theory. And that was like the low end theory for Tribe Called Quest was so groundbreaking because they were the first to do that multi-layer sampling from different various speeds, and then some of it was all beat, but it all came together. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So this is an art. So they had different bass and different strings from different time periods, different synths that was different speeds, and they meshed all that together. You know what I mean? That's art. You gotta have an ear. That's talent. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And the RZA came through with that same thing, but he came through. He would make up sounds and stuff like that. Like the snares was a door slamming, boom. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that, and he'll reverse that. And man, that was beautiful. Man, that's beautiful. It's art, man.
Yeah, producing back in those days was an art form, other than it is today.
Yeah, this is different. This is computer type stuff. Anybody can do this. Nowadays, Fruity Loops and. Yeah, they used to grab them records, them soul records, and put that thing together, man. You know what I mean? So, but now we veered off, man. But what I was saying, just so we can go ahead and wrap it up, is that he spoke life into them. He said it before anybody else did it. ODB, and that's you got to kind of put that out there first. You got to put in your mind as where you want to be, and that's what you're going to be in, and then from there. You could go ahead and do it, but if your mind not made up, it's gonna be tough because you can't defeat your mind. I don't give a damn. You can defeat a lot of stuff, but if your mind ain't in it, you ain't gonna be able to lick that. You ain't gonna be able to beat that. If you already think you gonna be in the middle, you're gonna be in the middle, if not worse. You see what I'm saying? So I'll open it up to y'all before we wrap it up, man. I know Corey, you came in here late. Last words, like anything else you want to add attributes wise, like what else you need being that top 1%?
I think we hit it all.
Right. Anything, and y'all can't think of nothing?
No, nothing extra. Yeah, just I think all of those things are because I think you don't need you're gonna need more than one skill set to be in that top 1%. Just mastering one of them, or just learning one, or just doing one. You got to do everything. Right. It all comes in to it, whether you leverage it or do it yourself.
Right.
I think the ultimate one, though, the very top one, none of us hit it. The ability to solve problems.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
The ability to solve problems. And the further we get in our careers, the more complicated the problems get. And so we're constantly as a group in the profession that we are in, we're constantly having to retrain, retool our ability to solve problems, right? And every day in every field, there is a problem that you never thought that you would have to face. But fuck, you got to face it, and it's time to solve it. 100%.
Yeah.
And that's just what it is. And if you can't, for any rookie LOs or any rookie agents, I would suggest you spend time understanding how to solve problems, right? And as adults, we have problems every day, especially if you have children. The problem of how you're gonna get your bills paid, the problem how you're gonna keep your marriage together, the problem how you're gonna manage your relationship with your friends, problem how you're gonna manage how you're gonna deal with the problem between your quote unquote co-workers and fellow colleagues. There are problems everywhere that has to be solved.
Mm-hmm.
And until, number one, you accept the fact that you're going to be a problem solver and not allow problems to just overwhelm you and stress you out, damn to give you a heart attack, and just say, you know what, this is a part of what I do, and just do it at a high level. And the higher level you do it at, the more well compensated you'll be.
Right. I think that's a big one we didn't cover. Yeah.
Yeah, I looked at it from a totally different angle when you said problem solving. I thought you meant more of like Steve Jobs was talking about, where you solve a problem to leverage yourself in the market. Meaning that, like, say for example, all realtors' pain point is this as a LO. Let me go ahead and solve this problem that makes me more valuable as a LO. So what realtors hate to I'm just making up some stuff. They hate to have to go to multiple lenders, or they hate to have their stuff not the customer ask for different stuff, the same stuff over and over. Let's just say that. So they hate lenders that do that. So you need to solve that problem. That way it leverages you to be the top one that they choose.
Oh yeah. But all that's problem solving. Yeah, dealing with customers and dealing with vendors. Your LOs, your title companies. I mean, I've had title companies I done had problems with, and
right. So solving that problem that's what make Matt Ishbia so deadly. He always proactive, and problems you didn't even know you had, he solved them. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So like now, Corey, you know about the last two that he did with the PA processing, the in-house processing?
Yeah.
Oh, man, he a dog with that one.
I think
he a dog, man. I officially knighted him a dog with that. Like, man, I got 2 LOs that's on my team. They got 2. They doing PA plus. Say, man, underwriters. Both of them was underwriters that's doing the file. So they got everything. Said the file come out with like 1 or 2 conditions. File come out clean as a bean.
And
he did that, man. He did that. We probably talking code to a lot of people, but
yes,
he solved the problem that was for us LOs that was big, especially as a broker. You got third-party processors, and most of them not all that great. I'm saying this very kindly because then some of them might be watching. But not all of them are great because, it's just society nowadays. They don't take everybody's not passionate about their job. So they just want to get by. So
one thing along with what you said about problem solving, another skill set is anticipating some problems that you'll have,
right,
and trying to head it off too.
Right. And that's what he did. He not only solved the problem at hand, but he knocked out all other problems. So now I don't have to search for a process. The process is going to be assigned. I used to be an underwriter, and they can already know their system, so they know what the underwriter is looking for. So they're going to knock it out from the beginning. Give me all of this stuff, and then now it's like a second underwriter. It's like an underwriter that's on your side. You know what I mean? So they can get all the and then I ain't gotta search for another processor. Processors are, So he did. That's makes you want to go to UWM. That's gonna knock a lot of people out the park. But he was already number 1. Why did he come up with that?
I think from my understanding, that was a great idea and a great implementation to compete with the quote unquote retail lender. Because on the retail side, there's a process automatic. There's a group of process automatic that you go with that's already working for the retail lender. Correct?
Not the same thing. No, it's different.
What's the difference between it?
It's a big difference. First of all, you have the skill set is different. Then it's
okay.
Yeah. So you don't let me finish. So you got a person that's possibly hourly and don't have no incentives on closing your deal. And then it's assigned to you. So if you have a processor, usually you have a processor for that branch or a processor that's designated to these LOs. So you have no choice.
Right.
So that's number one. The difference on the broker side is that all of the processors, they get paid commission.
True.
So if they don't close, they don't get no bread.
Right.
They have just as much skin in the game as this thing closing as me. So that's different. Hourly, okay, I don't want to do this today.
And you're right as far as the difference in between the types of processors.
Right.
But my statement was he saw a problem within his system stating, you know what? If I got brokers out there I'm brokering deals. So let's say 60% of his business is broker deal. And if he said 60% of my broker deals, I'm just giving a number. If you know the right one, but if that percentage of my broker deals, if they're having a problem with keeping paperwork flowing because they don't have, most of my brokers may not have processors, let me put something in place and make some more money on top of putting something in place, right? Because there's a fee that's passed on to the borrower for that PH plus, right?
That's another thing.
We don't have to discuss what the fee is. We don't have to discuss how minimal or great the fee is, but there's still a fee. No. And with that fee, yes, it helps on your side keep everything going smooth. Also, it puts a little more cash on the backside, which goes into his pocket because the process goes faster, less likelihood of deals of falling out and not closing as they should. I thought when I heard about it, that was great vision. That was great vision to see that, to know, okay, he knew his business. His business, all right, if I got a percentage of my business is coming from this part, what are the problems they're having? So I can increase that business and not let that business falter or flatline, and all it can do is increase. That's business one-on-one. I thought, when I heard about it, I thought it was awesome.
Right.
Hats off to him.
Well, my point is that a lot of people, especially when they get their number one spot, they like Puffy said, I'm with the shirt off. I know it all at that point. A lot of people figure they made it. I've arrived. And that's the difference between, I think, Matt Ishby and a lot of other people, LeBron and all them. He kept going. So he didn't need to implement that. He already was number one. He already beaten everybody, not even close. So by adding that added even an extra nugget to like, damn, you can't pass up UWM at this point. You know what I mean? And let's address the fee thing. Now he got it to where I could add the fee into the rate. I could bake that into the rate, but the customer never knows.
Oh, customer never knows.
Customer never knows. So it looked like I ain't charging nothing. So if I got a comparison LE to LE, and you got $1,100 for underwriting fee, you got another $1,300 like Chase for processing fee, and you got next to mine, I got 0.0, and I got the same rate. Who you gonna go with?
But that origination fee is $7,000 versus Chase is 53.
I could bake it into the rate.
But I'm gonna tell you like this, B.
You see what I'm saying?
What he's doing, yes, is revolutionary, and yes, it's a great thing, 100%. Because I talked with Corey about the fact that what is the difference when you have your processor? What is that looking like? Do you think that'll be better, whatever the case may be, to allow you to push more deals through? So I know the value of a processor. It's great. I mean, I don't disagree with it at all, 100%. But as far as being a part of that 1%, yes, he's made it, right? But at the end of the day, don't no business owner, and that includes us, want to be flatline, right? Yes, we at the 1%, but we're not trying to be flatline at the 1%. We're still trying to incrementally increase. Now, our increasing does not mean we're not jumping from 10,000 this year to 50,000. Sometimes it may be incremental of If we did 100, we might do 105, but that's still an incremental increase based on some tweaks to the system that we have. He tweaked his system, and with that tweak, he's going to say, well, how much does that increase my bottom line? That's business 101. When you're doing it at that level, you just tweaking. You ain't really bringing nothing else, because that processes has been a part of your guys' industry since it started. Right?
No, but the way he did it on our side was revolutionary.
But it's a tweak though, right? It's not a new thing. He tweaked us. Okay, if I do this, maybe this will work. Let me see how it works out.
I think you're missing the very point of essence of what I'm saying. Yes, I agree with you. Tweaks and stuff like that are business 101. However, why most of us, especially as solopreneurs, don't do it. What we do is, and what I'm watching people do, and when I say, I don't say everybody. When I say out of 100, maybe 51 to 55 might do it, which is the general. I'm talking in general. Once they get to a certain thing and they figure they got the formula, they very seldomly deviate from that formula. So they get caught in that mold where they're doing the same thing for 10, 20 years because it was successful 10, 20 years ago.
But see, then that's the recipe for disaster. That's just like Blockbuster. Blockbuster made no changes when Netflix came into the
right.
See what happened to them.
Right, exactly. And that's my point, is that a lot of, especially realtors I see, especially the ones that seasoned 18, 20 years, they still cold calling. They're still doing the same thing. And I even got to, I hope you're not watching this, but I got into it with one of my broker friends, not right before the pandemic. Like, bro, you got to get up with the times. Like, all these lists and stuff, the cold calling and the door knocking, that's gone. That's gone. You better, So you might have been successful in 06 with that, but that's ancient history. You see what I'm saying? That's gone. You might have had a great year in 06. That was before all these legislation came with, with door knocking and boys, getting killed for being in the wrong neighborhoods and stuff like that. Man, that's gone.
Now, when you talk about the old heads of your industry, what they have is what you complain about the young people don't have. They have discipline, they have desire, and they have consistency, whether it works or not, or it's outdated. If they're going to cold call, they're going to cold call every morning from 8 to 12. If they're going to door knock, they're going to door knock Saturday from 8 to 12, because that's when they know people are going to be at home. The one thing that you may criticize the old heads for doing, because it's outdated, but their methodology and their system, like how you said of how they do things, is still there. And you're warning this new generation to have that old head mentality, but hopefully can implement the new technologies with it. You're asking for a hybrid, but you can't criticize the old head because what they do is old, but it's proven. It's proven for them for 10 years.
No,
it's proven for them 10 years.
It's not.
Talk to me, Barrett. I see you grinning. Talk to your boy, Barrett. Tell me what it's about, man. You know what I'm saying? Them old heads know what them old heads can get in there and talk me and you in circles on how to do business. But because they decided to pick up the yellow pages and call it from A to Z, they still can talk us. They can talk us in circles on how to do business. I can't be older than them, right? Right. I can't be older than them, right? If they've been doing business 20, I've been doing 10. They got 10 on me. I can't do nothing about that. All I can do is sit and listen and learn how to deal with rejection and objections.
Gotcha. It's not
that's real estate 101, B Dix. That's real estate 101, big dog.
Yeah. But it's not a critique on them. It's just this awareness of what you're doing. I would argue the point that the ones that's still in the top 1%, they adapt with the times. They on the cutting edge of everybody else. They take what they have already learned and what that worked, and they just alchemize it to something different in the latest technology. I doubt very seriously that the top 1%.
Some of the big boys, they still cold call. Trust me.
Yeah,
them big boys, they got an office full, and they probably got about 5 or 6 people. That's all they do.
It's not.
But the thing about is their ability to get on the phone and talk you in circles, man. So that's Like you said earlier, when you used to get up at 5, you used to have to set 4 alarms to get you up out the bed. That old head up at 4 o'clock drinking coffee, reading the paper, ready to make his call at 8 a.m. to talk about, you know what? I just read in the paper the other day, so-and-so said he gonna do this. And the old head on the other line said, I sure did too. Not knowing that it's a sales call and he finna convince them to sell his house. But that ability to talk and communicate on a level of whomever they're calling. Once again, this millennial and younger generation has no idea how to do that. So you can criticize the millennials for it, but you can't. It's not fair for you to go back and say the dinosaurs is outdated and know damn well they can get on the line and get on this call with us right now and tell us how to be better at what we do because they've been doing it longer than we have. Ain't no way in the world you're gonna tell me that can't happen. We just discussed 30 minutes about how much Woo is better than what we listen to today. And Woo has been out for fucking 40 years, I think.
Yeah, I think you're mixing a lot of stuff that's together that's not together. I think you're
what
missing.
You mean it's not together?
Yeah, you put meshing stuff together that's not really together.
It's not together.
I'll let you speak uninterrupted, please. Please. Let me get my point out. So
please murder my enemies, burn them at 1,000 degrees. That's a classic line right there.
Right. So what I was saying is that it's not a critique at all. There's different levels. 1%, yeah. Some of them still cold call. However, it's how you cold call. I guarantee you they're not getting on the phone themselves. I guarantee you that they have somebody in the Philippines or somebody in India that they training to do that for them. And then they have system in place to take it from the next level. They scaled it. There's no way you can scale a business and be top 1% of I'm doing all the calls. Impossible. So they evolved it to where the technology meets, and they probably married it with some of the pixels and all the other technology together. So they're just not caught in a phone book type thing where they're calling and they're doing it all themselves. That worked 20 years ago. Not gonna work today. It's evolved. It's like they say dinosaurs with the birds and fish, and then they went to mammals. That's BS, but that's what they say. Now they it's evolved to what they're doing. If you're in the top 1%, well, I wasn't critiquing the top 1%. Top 1% get me. What I'm critiquing is I see some of those people that stuck, that had that 1 or 2 good years, and then stuck in that mold, and they fell off. That's what I'm talking about. Because you're still doing the same thing. You didn't evolve to where I'm talking about. You didn't adapt to the new. You didn't adapt to the social media. You didn't adapt to the pixels. You didn't adapt to the technology that's there. The people that increment and marry that, I'll give you an example, Mattress Mac. Mattress Mac is old school as they get. But he's on all the social media. He has upstairs, that whole top floor is dedicated to digital. Dedicated. You got a person just for Facebook. You got a person, all he's doing is right in the back, the algorithm specialist. He adapt to the new age. But he got the old school work ethic. That's what I'm saying. Old school work ethic, but have the open-mindedness to adapt to the times and embrace the new, what's coming up, and embrace 10 years from now. That's my thing. Don't figure that you got it all. All right, look, I made it to the league. Corey could attest to this, man. How many people got to the league and thought that was the finish line?
Got to the league and thought it was the finish line?
Yeah, how many people did that?
Very small few.
How many people got to the league and then had a good year and then fell off?
A lot.
Exactly. That's my point. That's my point. You got to the league, you got your license, you had a good year, you made a little bit of money, then you stopped. Why? You got to adapt. You got to keep on going. You got to keep going. That's my point. I'm not criticizing either side. I'm saying both need to take a little bit from each part. And it is a hybrid. People that's from the social media, the millennials, you need to take some of the old school fundamentals with the gotta wanna. And the old schoolers need to take some of it from the millennials and get some of those getting some of that free shit that they're doing. Some of them it's free. And get creative. And stop, I don't want I gotta have my makeup and all this, man. Knock it off. And I ain't got no makeup on. We out there. We in the street. We need content streets.
We need content streets, huh?
We out here.
Content streets. Dang, dog, that was a good one.
So
Content streets.
yeah, so we out there, man. We ain't none of us got makeup on. This ain't perfect, man. We got content. It is what it is. I'm gonna send this to Barry though. I forgot the chop this thing up, man. I'm gonna send you the Google link. Chop it up, put it in short form, do what you do. Love, spread. That's what this is, man. Think about it. We used to have this conversation, and it's why Corey and I had a conversation. Barry and I, we'll talk on the phone about this. In private, all we're doing is putting it in public now, chopping it up. Same conversation we'll have in private is now it's public.
Yeah. 100%. Try to make it more digestible, though.
Right. I mean, but isn't these conversations we'll have anyway about the profession?
In these conversations about the what?
Isn't these conversations that we will have anyway, us as professionals?
Yeah, in most cases, on just
Yeah.
regular.
Some of them, yeah.
Yeah, so why not put it out? That's content. People want to see that. People want to hear that. You know why people want to hear that and want to see that? Because they want to do business with people who like them. They want to see your point of view. They want to feel that they're spending their money with somebody who they could relate to.
True.
That's where it's gone to. And a lot of people got their head in the sand with this. No, I just got the realtor badge. That's all I need. People going to come to me. All right, keep on thinking that. Keep doing your deal a year. Congratulations. You played yourself.
Oh, yeah. I knew that line was coming out. Why you didn't say the whole line since you played yourself? Go ahead. What's the rest of it?
I don't know the rest of it. But man, we're gonna wrap it up, man. We're gonna check y'all next week, man. I know we stayed a little bit longer because CJ he the one with the curfew. It looked like Barry getting sleeping up there, man. I can talk on. So we're gonna check y'all next week.
All
Man.
right.
Peace.
But